Hello, Andrew here and welcome to another video. This time we're going to be talking about selections again and cutting out your model. The reason why we're going back into this is because within Photoshop there's always more ways than one to skin a cat, so I thought I'd show you more ways of cutting out your model. Now, I have gone through a couple of versions of cutting out your model before, and just to quickly recap those, the first one is so we've got two layers. One was slightly colour adjusted just to bring out the white a little bit more, but what I'm going to do is fill this background layer, edit fill with a colour, and we'll choose a nice strong orange up here, edit fill, so we've got a nice strong orange behind. So one of the ways that we spoke about was to just using the very old-fashioned but tried, trusted and true method of just cutting them out by using such as this, an eraser tool on a layer above a nice bright colour, and by doing that you can go around your model, zoom in, go around your model and cut them out. The other way that we spoke about doing it was to cut out hair, which is where we go round an area that we want to cut out. I'm doing it very roughly here, and once you've got that, you go to select colour range, and you select the area you want to delete. Adjust your fuzziness, go like that. That's selected the white. Make sure we're on the right layer. Hit delete and it does that. Deselect. And there you go. So that's the other way of doing it. And if we just come back a few steps. But there's always more ways to do it than that, and so this time we're going to go through a couple of things. First off, we're going to go in this video we're going to go through the quick selection method. Now this is a tool up here. If you press and hold, you've got your magic wand and your quick selection tool. Now don't be put off by the quick selection tool. It's not kind of a just a rubbish way of selecting. It's actually very good. So you go onto that and you make sure you're on the right layer, and you basically just paint around the bits you want to get rid of. So in this case it's this white background, and slowly as you paint around, Photoshop learns what it is you want to get rid of. And adds it to the selection, and there we go. Very quick, very easy to do, and not a bad selection at all. Let's go in and have a look. So now it hasn't got everything. For instance, this between the legs here, because it's separate to what we were selecting, it's not bled over into it. Obviously this is, you know, it's stopped at the edge of here, and this is slightly transparent, but we'll deal with that later. And the hair, okay, it's not made a great job at this point, but we're going to fix that. The way to do this is, once you've got your first selection there, first off you want to zoom in a little bit and see if there's anything where it's selecting bits you don't want it to select, such as here, and then you hold down your Alt or Option key, and then you go back over this and tell it, no, Photoshop, I want that, and it'll learn. The great thing about this is that as you go, it learns what you do and don't want to select. So we want this in here. So if we go over that, there we go. That's not bad. That's not bad. And then hold down the Alt and just get rid of it on here a little bit. Shrink your brush. See, that's not bad at all. So, the next thing to do is to deal with the hair. So I'm going to get the polygonal lasso, because what I want to do is, by using this refine edge option up here, I'm going to get it to select the hair. But in order to do that, I want to reduce the amount of hair that it's selected. So by getting the polygonal lasso, holding down Shift, so I want to add this to the selection. Remembering that we've selected the white, and just going around and selecting the hair. Now I'm doing it slightly quick and dirty. Obviously you would take your time a bit more. Okay, so that we've selected much more of the hair, as you can see. Now you'll see why in a minute. Go to refine edge. Okay, now in this refine edge you've got a few options. First off, you've got your view, and you can do different things like black on white, so you can see what you've selected and haven't selected here. On layers, reveal layer, on white, on black, overlay, marching ants. I just pick the one that works for you. I really like overlay, so I'm going to go with that. Now you've got a few things on here, and you can play with these to kind of find what works best for you. First off, you've got edge detection, and you can just bring that up, and Photoshop will try and figure out what it is you want selected. And you can see, if I put it to black on white and black, as I bring that up, I'll bring it up loads so you can see what it does. It's trying to decide what you want selected and what you don't. But you only really want to move it very small amounts. And just see if it makes a difference, just see if it's better. And then you've also got things like smooth. You might want to smooth the selection out a little bit. Feather, contrast can be quite good, just to harden that edge a little bit. Maybe slightly too much. And then you've also got smart radius up here, so click on that. Sometimes it makes a difference, sometimes it doesn't. Not a major difference, I think I'll leave that off. Okay, but what about this hair? Right, this is where this little brush here, this refine radius tool, comes in. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint over the hair. So you can't see what you're doing. So just paint over it very slightly like that. Then what happens? There we go. It's starting to select it. Make sure I go over it all. Here we go. Takes a while. Make sure we get it all. Right, let's have a look. Okay, not bad, we're nearly there. Missed a couple of bits there. Go around that edge a bit more. Not sure it's got all that. That's better. There we go, look at that. Much better. That bit it's not got. Got it now. In there. In there. In there. In there. Not bad. Get in there now. That's not bad at all. And so it's great for selecting hair, but it can also be great for this. Now this is slightly transparent, and we want it slightly transparent for our composite. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over this as well. Try not to get too much of the arm. There we go. And that's better. Now if you look at the difference here to over here, it's actually registering it as slightly transparent. So we'll do this side as well. Up we go to the top. There we go. Not bad at all. And we'll just do this bit in here as well. And there we go. Not bad. And then once you've done all that, you can select how you want it outputted. Output. Great English there. So maybe there's different ways of doing it. You can do it as a selection, a layer mask, a new layer. Or maybe now remembering you want to work as non-destructively as possible. I think a new layer with a layer mask is probably a good one to do. Let's go for that. Click OK, and you'll see over here. But oh dear, a slight problem there is that it's done it the wrong way around, because remember we were selecting the background. Not a problem. Click on your layer mask there, and Control I to invert it, and there we go. We have our cutout. But obviously we've got some more stuff to get rid of, so painting on your layer mask with a hard brush at 100% with black, and off we go. And there we go, we have our selection. Not a bad selection at all, actually, and it's done a very good job there. Not a bad job on the hair, nicely selected. Same with this transparent area down here, not bad at all. But again, you might not want to leave it there. You might want to go back and use the other two methods I spoke about at the start. You might want to use a bit of manual selection, go around and just adjust that a little bit yourself. For instance, the selection here is not great, so using that hard brush on your layer mask, you might want to just paint in a little bit there and just make that a slightly better selection. So using your black and your white to move the boundary of that selection a little bit. There, that's a bit better edge on that. And you can see that we've got some slight issues here, which you can deal with in various different ways. You might want to, for instance, use your color range selection. So what you might want to do is, for instance, disable your layer mask, go back to your selection, your polygonal lasso, and go around the hair. Nice and carefully. You're only trying to select the areas where you can see the background coming through. so. There we go, and then you do your select color range. Select the backdrop, and then holding your shift key down, just move your brush over these bits, making sure to select everything you want selected, and just adjust your fuzziness slightly. You want to try and make sure it's black, as I was saying in the previous video. You know, try and get the best kind of contrast between the white and the black here. You want it about there, probably. Click OK. So you've got that selection. So now enable your layer mask. Go to your layer mask and go edit, fill with black. Deselect. And that's gotten rid of a lot of that fuzziness. You've still not got bad. No, it's not a bad selection of the hair. Depends how you want to go about it. If we go back, so there's the difference. So, I mean, the previous selection is a bit more fuzzy, not quite so precise, but you're getting more of the hair. The colour range, it takes more away, but it's a more definite selection. You're not getting that fuzziness. So, again, it swings and roundabouts. It's what you want from your selection, and you know what you want for your composite, really. So yeah, it's completely up to you. So that's it. There's your final cutout, and that's not a bad cutout. You could probably go in and refine it a little bit here and there, but it's just another. Think of it as just another tool in your toolbox. Is the best way to think about it. You know, you're not going to use just one thing exclusively. You're going to use you're going to mix and match your different techniques to try and get the best selection that you can. So sometimes the refine edge will work the best, sometimes quick selection on its own, sometimes color range, and more often than not, what will work the best is actually several of these different tools used in conjunction with each other. And that will probably give you your best result. So have a practice yourself and see what works for you and what works for whatever composite you're working on at the time. Anyway, hope that helps, and thank you for listening. That's another 20-minute video, and I'll see you soon. Hi guys, thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to support me in making these composites and videos, check out my Patreon campaign at the link on the screen or in the description below. And I'll see you soon on another video soon. Thank you very much.